one. The offense has been like the red hot chili peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
I'm Enrique Alvarez-Clary. Nebraska football and its head coach Scott Frost are currently under investigation by the NCAA for violations that date back 12 months. According to Brett McMurphy of the Action Network, the school has, quote, significant video footage, end quote, of the practice violations. The NCAA has been in contact and interviewed Frost, multiple current and former staff members, administration, and players regarding the allegations. It is also being reported that last year when the NCAA restricted teams getting together for organized activities, Nebraska's strength workouts were moved to an off-campus location, though it is currently unknown if the NCAA is actually investigating those allegations. Keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket for more information as it becomes available. In the MLB, the New York Yankees swept a doubleheader against the Red Sox 5-3 and 2-0 and took Boston's place as the second wildcard team in the American League. The Chicago Cubs snapped a 12-game losing streak with a 2-1 win over the Cincinnati Reds, and the Kansas City Royals look to sweep the Houston Astros tonight following a 3-1 win yesterday. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Live from Copple Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Featuring former Nebraska basketball player Terrence Badgett with broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson. Welcome to the Ticket Weeknights.
Let's take them back, Badge. Let's take them back. Again, 2 hours worth. We'll take you to 8 o'clock. Next to me, 43. Man, last time you saw him, he was hanging on the rim, embarrassing folks, doing what we do. Let's before we introduce you, I want to thank the folks that are around. A couple of ways for you to participate tonight. We've got the Starter Heyman text line, 464-5685. If you've got questions, comments, go ahead and text them in. If you want to call in and ask Badge a question, feel free to do so on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 464-5685. You can follow the Starter Heyman video stream. You can catch it on Facebook at 93.7 The Ticket FM. You can find it on YouTube. Share that joint. Put it out there. You can watch what's going on here in studio, or you can follow us on Twitch and do that as well. Let's bring in former Husker Hooper, Terrence Badge. Badge, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here with you.
No, look, man. We've been talking about this for months.
Yes, we have.
And to say thank you publicly for you getting us through last basketball season. So you and Strick, you taught us, you educated us, you elevated us. We're all a little bit basketball smarter because of you guys. And the best way for me to repay that and say thank you publicly is, you know what? And give you your own space.
That's nice, man. That's nice. Well, you thinking me, then I need to thank Strickland.
Yeah.
Strickland relied on me, and he blessed me, and he coached me. So I appreciate you, little bro. I appreciate you. So thank you publicly too as well.
We talked the other day about being a Husker. We talked a little bit about it, and I had a couple of people to say, well, you should have asked another question. I went, wait a minute, I'm not done with the brother. There's lots to do here.
Oh, yeah.
So for the folks who didn't know, tell them your story, because you are a Husker through and through.
Yeah. Born and raised Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. Grew up north Omaha. Blessed, was around a plethora of talent. Got a scholarship from the scholarship offer actually from Danny Nee. Crazy story with that is
Tell it.
And well, growing up, played for Omaha Running Rebels. Kenny O'Neill was our coach. Mitchell, Alonzo Mitchell, may rest in peace. He's one of our coaches who kept us focused. These guys implemented a system of consistency, work hard. We just wanted to get better. And so my freshman year, when I started getting letters, Danny Nee had made a comment. there's no good talent in Nebraska. So my first letter was from Georgetown,
Hello.
and then my best letter was I had KU, I had Michigan, USC, and then I had Nebraska. Then I had Cal, Berkeley. I had a couple of anyway. So I started getting pretty good, and I started making my selection. Then A&E reaches out and says, "Hey, I like Terrence. I want to come talk to him." I'm like, man, he made a comment. So I told Dr. Barty, was our athletic director at South. I'm like, man, he made this comment talking about he didn't like no Nebraska talent was good. So then I walking down the hallway at South High. He came up to talk to the principal and Dr. Barty and apologize.
That's a win.
So then after that, I really felt that my family, my brothers and my mom, who actually came down to every game. My mom was at a badge, my older brother Troy, my younger brother Timmy, Quincy and Quinn, in my heart and my family. You know what I'm saying? So, and my beautiful daughter. But Cameron. So I wanted to play in front of my family. And I decided to come to UNL. And I wasn't the smartest kid in South High, and I knew that I needed some assistance. And the academic piece here was excellent. So came here, play ball, freshman year, came with Jason Glock, which was awesome. Me and Jason Glock was a freshman. Now I knew Jason. I didn't like Jason. We didn't like Jason. We didn't like Wahoo because Wahoo went undefeated for 4 years, and Wahoo had these crazy games like 101-12. Man, come on, man, that ain't basketball.
Right.
Let them play us. Let them play us. You know what I'm saying? So we won state 1990, and when I met Jason, me and Jason came on the scene, and we just worked our butts off. But I didn't have no fundamentals, and I decided to work on my fundamentals. Take a redshirt year, and it was a big change for myself because academically I wanted to make sure I was sure, and as well as basketball. I had Eric Pikowski in front of me, Carl Hayes in front of me. So Carl Hayes was a senior, big bro, loving to death, great mentor. So I took a back seat, and then the following year, my guys came. You got Strickland, you got Woolridge, you got Jerron Boone, and crazy thing about it, we was all freshman team. We was all freshman team that 1 year. Woolridge transferred the next year, but after that, we went through the whole year, play ball. Then Teron Lou came our senior year. Vincent Hamilton, Mikey Moore, Bernard Gardner, just awesome. Tom Wald. We had Tom Best. We had great people. So I graduated with a human development family science degree, and then just still bled Nebraska. It educated me enough to get my master's in human development get my master's at Bellevue University in human services. So when I say bleed red, it changed my life in a positive manner. So now being able to come back and work with behavioral kids, I have great partners named Joe Ogba and Arthur Boats. We have group homes and things, and just giving back to the community is awesome.
I'm gonna ask you to bite that microphone. So slide your chair around the other side, so it never. So when you lean to me,
Got you.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're in business,
good
bro.
coaching. Good
No,
coaching.
we're in brother. No. This is it. This is how we get out.
Yeah.
It appears to me that there was a time in Lincoln where basketball mattered prior to what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about what Lincoln was like when you guys had it going.
You saw House Party 1?
Big Sky has not. Big Sky has not seen it.
I don't know. Let me see what Big Sky. What could we relate to you as far as like how it was, so you could get a great experience? Oh man, just awesome when you come on a university. And so my freshman year coming on, I came on a campus with Troy Dumas, Dwayne Harris, Abdul Muhammad. You have awesome football players,
right?
And they're nobodies because we was all freshmen, but we was all, I'll say we were all crew. Tony Veland, we was all Damian Benny, we was all freshmen, and we stuck together and we hung out together. It wasn't about basketball, football. It was about us knowing that we were the chosen ones out of our families. We were the lucky ones out of our families. We was the lucky ones out of our friends to escape and be able to get to the opportunity to grow. So we were hungry, and just the volleyball was already here. The volleyball was established. The football was established. Basketball, my guy Tony Farmer.
Yeah,
that's the guy. Tony Farmer was my.
Oh,
Tony Farmer. I came on visit. He was my escort. Tony Farmer had a BMW convertible. It was like 16 below. We riding around with the convertible off. But Tony Farmer came to one of my games in districts, popped up on the scene just to support me after him showing me. So that's how thick the blood. That's how thick the love is.
It was funny because before I got here, I was Nebraska aware, but I didn't know how many Nebraska connections I had.
Okay.
And so when I was in the CBA, I had Tony Farmer was my roommate on the road.
Wow.
Like Jerron Boone, my first radio show in Utah was with Jerron's dad, Ron Boone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, my son is Jerron." I'm like, I never put it together. Kenya Hunter. I coached Kenya when he was 12 years old.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. So I was connected to it and didn't know I was connected to it.
That's awesome.
And then the story started to develop, and of course, then they introduce you to other folks.
Yes, sir.
And the thing that you said about you guys as freshmen recognizing your blessing, that it wasn't about who you were on campus at that time. You had a responsibility to your name.
Correct.
First.
Correct. Responsibility to the name first, to the point where my mom said, "Don't go up there and embarrassing me. Do what you're supposed to do. If I get a report." So this is another thing. So I wasn't playing. So I had came with this thought that I wanted to go into architecture, knowing I wasn't excellent in math. so I came on campus and I was redshirting. So then he didn't require me to be in the gym too much, even though I was redshirting. So I had this lab I had to go to and everything. And then Danny called me. He said, brought me to his office. Said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Good." He said, "I haven't seen you much." "Oh yeah, I've been in this lab trying to get this math under control." "Tell me something. You have a scholarship, right?" "Right." "What is your scholarship in?" I said, "Basketball." "There you have it. You can't do no academics if you don't have a basketball scholarship. Change your major." I was like, this man is tough. But it was the truth.
I'm not mad at him. I'm impressed. It's like, wait a minute.
It was the truth. It was the truth. And then from there, I need to see you in the gym. So I was blessed enough to be pretty good. So I was the best player on the other teams all the time. So I was Anthony Peeler on Missouri.
Yeah, on the scout team. You were the guy.
It was awesome. It was like the best feeling. So,
but you mentioned, that freshman group that you came with.
Yeah.
Let's go through that freshman group again.
Okay. So we have Jerron Boone. Now, here's the thing about it too.
Isn't he like the number 8 scorer in Nebraska history?
Okay. No. So we were, I think, the number 4 recruiting class that year. Wow. Woolridge was number 2, behind Jason Kidd. Strickland was number 4 or 5. Jerron was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And you had 3 out of the top 10. And Jerron had North Carolina. Jerron had Syracuse, blah, 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 going. Woolridge had Iowa, Kentucky, going. Strickland was the craziest one. He had baseball, football, and basketball. Right. He was a beast.
You've talked about that area.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're talking about playing at the Omaha Civic Center and that these great Metro get-togethers were important. Do those things still exist?
No, the Civic Center is gone.
But is there a place where the best talent in the area gets together and measures each other?
No, not like it used to be. Because the best talent back then we were street ball. We would go to Rocket Park, Fontenelle, Horseman. Me and Woolridge were riding around on bikes to all these different spots to play. And if you played and you won 2 or 3 games, the people in that area or that hood would be mad.
Yeah.
You don't come in there just ripping. So so we never went anywhere without each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have a following of Curtis Marshall, went to North Carolina, NC
Yeah.
State, my friends, Antoine Youngs, Chris Green, Richard Duff, Lawrence, all of us, Al Clark, we all hung together. Kenya Crandall, we all played ball together. We stuck together. We was kind of crew. So we'd go against the older cats and they would beat us down. But we went to the park. We started going to Creighton every Saturday morning. Creighton shut it down on us because we started beating Creighton players. Yes. As a freshman, we started beating Creighton players. And my guys, Latrell Wrightsell and DeJuan Cole, all those great guys, they were all our mentors.
What was it about Danny Nee that had him draw that kind of talent?
He just put hope. He believed. And you can look at the crew that he had before, and back then, Rich King and all those guys, Bo Reed, they were hard-nosed. Man, they didn't play. The pre-songs, like I said, Carl Hayes and them, and they were all together. They all gelled together. So when you come on visit, they'll treat you like your family. And it was just it was embracing. Then you got Dennis LeBlanc and them in the academic office. I remember sitting down at the training table and Tom Osborne walked by and he sat down at the table and I'm sitting there like, man, I set up. He said, hey, Terrence, how you doing? How you liking it? You know my name? Yeah. Hey, I watched you at State. You did a wonderful job, man. That's glad you're visiting. Man, I sit there and call my brother Troy. Like, man, Tom Osborne spoke to me.
That's the best.
Yes. For him to be in football, but know about what's going on around campus.
Well, he probably was trying to figure out how you get you in the uniform.
I was a buck 78, buck 178 pounds. You wouldn't get me in on uniform.
We're talking to former Husker hooper Terrence Badgett, and he will be doing this each week, and he'll come in and share stories. And he's got a Rolodex as long as his arm of guys. Who can we start to look forward to talking to, hearing you have conversations with?
Bruce Chubbuck, Tony Farmer, Carl Hayes, Jamar Johnson, Jerron. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to get Jerron and
Jerron is only. Here's the thing about Jerron. Jerron, you would talk for 2 hours. Jerron would say 14 words.
No, not. You have to engage Jerron.
Yeah.
And I don't want like we talked about. It'll be not even just sports. It could be people in the community.
Yeah.
I'm a good friends with the Baxter Auto. Mickey Anderson was one of my friends, saying he was the first person that gave me a job at the Baxters. You would talk to Round J. Pelagi law firm, business people that affect our community, people that, people need to know about that they don't know, or resources possibly. And then the people down here, the Lincoln, our family, opportunities. A guy motivated me named Jonathan Culliver with one word. He said, I shot a free throw. He said, shoot it again. Shot again. Shoot it again. I had my hand up. He said, you can be great if you practice. That one thing, I took it and ran.
That's, like I've heard some of the story. Now, you choosing to involve yourself in development and of young people, that's so big to my heart. Because it takes a special human being. When they say not to lower yourself for a child, but to make yourself available to a child. Why did you choose to do what you do?
Because I was that child. My mom she raised 5 boys, single parent, didn't complain about it. I had my older brother was kind of like my older brother / father. I had great uncles, my Uncle Herman, my Uncle Terry, my Uncle Tommy, may rest in peace. We were a family, but my mom worked. And then at the same time, too, I was part of the boys club, not the boys and girls club, the boys club, where so many kids there, we went there to eat. And then at the same time, we learned a trade, we learned a skill. My mom would send me to the Boys and Girls Club for the simple fact that they served breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we have responsibilities of cleaning and just giving back. When you get to the point where you surpassed and was able to get out of a bad situation to grow, you always have a tendency to be able to give back. You have to. And not judge someone's situation because you don't know what they're going through, but to tell someone that, hey, this ain't the end. This ain't the end. Let me help you. Let me get some structure in your life, some consistency. Let me show you some love because I don't want you to waste the rest of your life. So someone did it to me.
You hit me in my heart. Because there aren't enough great people as adults who will do that.
Yeah.
And it gives me hope that the badges out there are enough in number to help these kids.
Yeah.
Because we can't help everybody, but we should try.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have great people around me. My staff is all family. What I mean by family, I have a group of kids, a group of young fellas. They're not young. They're like 30, 40, but they call me big bro. When you get that kind of respect, that means they respect you enough to follow you, to lead. And you got to lead by example. And at the same time, too, it's all about giving back. It really is. It really is. God blesses you for a reason to bless others. And at the same time, too, I'm part of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. And my big brother, Victor Beanham, he was a blessing to me. When I came into it, he showed me how to humble myself and to be great. And I'm still working on the being great.
No, you are not. No, you are not. You are. You got keys to the house, man. You and doing that. The big part of this for me is whenever I hear somebody who is large of heart and greater in action, mom is the lynch. Like that's the thing that makes it move. Who is your mom?
My mom is Rosetta Badgett. My queen, she's 70 years old. She just turned 70. And she has been through some things, but she keeps fighting. She keeps fighting. I'm blessed to be able to talk to her every morning. A lot of my friends, respectfully don't have that. And I'm grateful for it. So a lot of times I complain about stuff. When I think about it, I'm able to talk to her. So I need to be grateful. I've been checked a couple of times. I say, man, mom, get up my nerves. My friend's like, look, man, your mom is here. So when he said that, I'm lucky. And I'm lucky that she was strong enough. She didn't take no child support. She raised 5 boys by herself. We're all tight. We're all great. And this crazy thing about it is we're all so affectionate. When we see each other, it's always a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And we got that love from her. And there was no male involved. There was no father figure involved. We got that from her. And I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't.
How much of your action is for her?
I'll say all of it because she taught us how to live. My mom was a nurse. She worked a night shift. My mom worked at facilities where there's handicapped kids. She'll take us along to help her. My mom always a giver. My mom is a big heart. It's a big, big heart. And, everybody knows she'll give her time, her energy whenever she can. She will. And it's just like, sometimes you catch yourself because you may give too much. People know that I'm that way too. I have no problem. If you're loyal to me, I'm loyal back to you. I will walk with you and ride with you the whole time. And my mom is the same way. So I get a lot of it. And I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with that. To see someone smile, to see someone be able to say, I had a kid call me and little story, I had a kid call me about 2 years ago. And I hope I'm not telling too much of his business, but he was driving at night in Council Bluffs, went over a bridge, hit a homeless person, ended up killing him. Didn't know it, but they showed his blazer. Now, I haven't saw this kid in 3 years. They showed his blazer, and he got scared. He called me. He said, I'm going to turn myself in because that was my blazer. And I remember hitting something, but I didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, man. So I said, okay, I'll go with you. He said, because he asked me to. We both walked into the police station shaking. And I'm like, man, praying. And he went in there, told his story, what happened. He walked out. The police officer said he can go. His story is consistent. The guy, he couldn't see him. We saw the cameras and let him go. Man, but him to call me said a lot. I sat in that parking lot and just like, why are you calling on me? What are you doing to me, God? Help me, teach me, show me. I mean, keep guiding me, because that right there told me that I was lucky, that someone trusted in me. I had people like that in all my life that looked out for us. So, you have to get back.
Brother, we got a lot to talk about. Look, man. Listen, that is Terrence Badger. We'll throw the break when we come back. More of the story, because greatness requires support and family. You need a boundary of folks around you that care about you, that will tell you yes or no. We'll talk about those folks with Badge after the break.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Happy birthday to the ticket. Happy birthday to the ticket. 93.7 The Ticket is turning 10 years old this week, and we're getting the gang back together to celebrate. Join us down at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket this Friday for a live broadcast beginning with Tom and Bach at 11 a.m. Register to win great raffle prizes, including Nebraska football season tickets or a signed Tommy Frazier jersey. Stick around until 4 for appearances from former hosts, including Mike Welch, John Gaskins, Jake Bogus, and Lanny Holstein. It's the Ticket's 10th anniversary party this Friday at McKinney's Irish Pub.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
I sure am, Charlie. Great to talk to you again.
Andy, I know you're selling a lot of cars right now, but I hear you still have a lot of cars available.
We do, Charlie. In fact, we still have over 500 new 2021 Hondas to choose from in stock or on the way, with 0% APR financing available on select models.
What about new 2022 Hondas, Andy?
You know, we actually have quite a few in stock already, and they're arriving every day.
Now, I'm going to assume since you're selling a lot of new cars, you have some great trade-ins available too. How is the selection of pre-owned?
It's the largest selection of pre-owned we've ever had, Charlie, with over 160 to choose from. People can choose from just about any make and model you can imagine.
Thanks, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights, featuring former Nebraska basketball player Terrence Badgett on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Did you pick the music? Did you pick the music?
I had to give you some, man.
You had to pick the music. Man.
Back in the day, from the Starter Heyman text line, a couple of things. We have a texter that says, Badge, please tell the story about drinking beer in Belgium with Coach Nee. Kind sir.
Chubb, do not. Bruce, just leave me alone, man. I'm just telling the story. I'm just telling the story. So I was a freshman, and we traveled in Europe. Most colleges have a Europe tour before the season starts and stuff. And we went to Belgium, and Danny was a New Yorker all the way. He'd challenge you. Hey, who wants to drink beer? Bruce, like, I'm not drink you underneath. And Danny turns with this smile, like, like, hold on, little whippersnapper. You don't know who you're talking to. So in the morning, they went out drinking. You know, I was too young to do all that. So I went to bed. In the morning, we got on the bus, and Bruce laid out in the back, the whole back row, in the trash can. And Danny comes on the bus with the shades on. And he said, "Where's Bruce?" And Bruce yells out, "Leave me alone." And Bruce said, Danny said, "Hey, you can't hang with the owls and try to soar with the birds in the morning, young man."
So, like, wait a minute. So I've heard most of the Danny Nee stories.
Yeah.
I know it's a different time, right? It's a different era. But a lot of the misconception was that this team didn't like Danny Nee.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Danny was good, but he had wonderful assistants. You know what I'm saying? But Danny was a people person. You know what I'm saying? In any business or CEO or owners or whatever, their weaknesses is their next person's strengths. So Danny was a good coach, but the X's and O's was like Jeff Smith, Gary Bargan, Lynn Mitchell, Jimmy Williams. All those people were Danny's, X and O's and everything. But as far as people skills, man, Danny was the first person that put a planner in my hand. He showed us how to, walk our classes, get to timing, you know what I'm saying? On time to him was 15 minutes. Late is on time. That was his motto. He put etiquette. He taught us etiquette. He taught us how to speak in front of the camera. He gave us life skills after basketball. And he always spoke of that too. He said, this life after basketball, get your education, have a great time, enjoy life, but these skills you're going to take with you after basketball. And he was fun. He was fun. He was always fun. We go on a road. We went to Hawaii. He made sure that we had money, because when you travel, he will hold all our money and he'll give us like $75 here. But we, when you're an athlete, you get a certain amount of money when you go on for a certain amount of days. He will hold it all the way to the last day so you can go home with money. He'll have meals for you prepared. You just got to show up. He didn't want you to spend your money. He said he wants you to take advantage of this opportunity. So he was great with that.
Could they even do that now?
I think
could a coach come out of pocket with money?
No. This was all.
No. I mean, I know per diems and such, but the meals themselves, can the coach have meals presented to student athletes?
Not during the season. During the season. The coach is allowed to have like gatherings at his house where they can come over.
Okay.
But when he set up those meals, it was like through the university. So you're able to pay for, I think, a meal a day. But what Danny would do was say, hey, don't eat. I'm going to feed you around 2 or 3. So that's almost lunch and dinner.
Okay.
And it'll be a nice buffet of food and everything too. So
that roster was deep.
Yeah.
Deep. How did he handle? I mean, because I imagine the practices were insane.
Oh, yeah. The practices was competitive.
But also managing egos. How did he handle it?
You know, we pretty much had we had leadership. We had really good leadership. When I was a freshman, the leadership was, Carl Hayes, Jamar Johnson, Chris Cresswell. And then as we grew older, Jamar was still with us. And then it just shifted to like Tom Wald, and we were all seniors, so he didn't really have to manage that point, but we didn't want to poke him. If you made Danny mad, he'll practice already when you start the season 3 hours. He'll make it 4. Or he'll make it a double. He'll feed you, but then you stand there, you going at 8 o'clock and you leaving there walking out about 4 o'clock. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So
how much can you tell us about the infamous walkout?
Oh
man. How much can you tell us about the walkout?
One, I can tell you it was ignorant. It should have never done it. But as a young man, when you were part of a team, we all agreed on it. So you had to follow suit. It was a better way to handle it as you look back at it, and the Coach Nee, I tell you time and time again, I apologize for that. But we learned from it. I learned from it. It was just one of those things where we felt like we wasn't being heard or trusted. There was some things in the game where we didn't feel like went right. And we thought that we was bigger than life, and we wasn't. And we got checked. And the great thing about all that, he looked at us and said, hey, let's go play basketball. Let it go. You guys as seniors, it was 6 of us. We got to finish you guys the senior year out on a positive note. I tell you what, and for him to be a man and look at us and still want to coach us was awesome. Was awesome.
So there was no residue.
There was no residue. There wasn't no residue. Don't get it the wrong way. We poked him. He felt it. He did. But he handled it like a man. He did. And then if it wasn't for, like I said, Teron Lou and then Vincent Hamilton, Mikey Moore, when we lost the last game and they said, well, you want to go to NIT? And, because of what happened, like, nah. And Teron jumped up and said, man, come on, man. I want to play with you guys. Let's do it. Come on, man. Let's show the world. Let's do it. And we all got motivated, got up. And after we won the first game, then we went to Colorado, played Colorado State. Then we came back to beat Washington, Fresno, Tulane. And then we went to the championship, beat St. Joe. It was all worth it.
Let's go through some of those games, though, because there were some players you guys had to face along the way. That had to be quite the run.
Yeah. So our first game we played against Colorado State, Joe Vogel is a kid from the state of Nebraska who I played with him. We went to the Valentino's team. Me and Curtis Marshall and Strickland played with him on the same team. Joe was good. We went up to Colorado State. Man, we walked out of there with W. And that was the ignition. And then we came back home and played Washington. There was a guy named Ike Fontaine who was really good. We beat Washington. And then we ended up going to Fresno. And, you know who the coach was.
Who was there? Tark.
Yeah.
Tark was there.
Tark was there.
Yeah, Tark was at Fresno back
yes.
then. Yeah.
Tark was there. And then they had a tandem, 2-guard tandem that led the nation in shooting percentage and assists. And we went down there and let them have it too. We let them have it. Mikey Moore had an awesome game. Eric Strickland had an awesome game. Jerron was smooth in the clutch. It was it. And then we on our way to Tulane and we played Honeycutt. Was a post player. It's funny because I remember Teron Lou and the guard was getting into it. And Teron said, I'm gonna cross you over this way, I'm gonna cross you back this way, and I'm gonna hesitate, and I'm gonna throw an alley to Mikey. Watch. And he was like, man, whatever. Did everything he said, threw an alley to Mikey. And Teron Lou jumped up down. I told you. You know what I'm saying? So
and the way you describe it, I can see all of that. Like I can see all that in play. But Mikey Moore is a name that when Nebraska talks basketball, they don't talk Mikey enough.
I don't know why. You know, Mikey.
I mean, he was Blake then, right?
Mikey came. Mikey was this lanky 7-footer. They say 6'10", 7-footer.
Yeah.
Size 19 shoe.
Yeah.
Probably weighed about 210 pounds.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Great attitude. But Jimmy Williams made Mikey. Jimmy Williams made him right hand, left hand jab, whatever. Mikey gave you 110% every time. Mikey did not complain. Mikey wasn't negative. But you could throw that bad boy up to Mikey anywhere, and Mikey could catch it. Bruce Chubbuck made Mikey better. You know, the people don't talk about that. You know, because we didn't take it soft on Mikey. You know, and it's not even shocking that he made it to the NBA and played in all those different things. People don't realize he played with Jason Kidd when he was at New Jersey. He played against the Lakers.
He came into Salt. I was in Salt Lake when he came to Utah.
Yeah,
and I did his first interview in the state of Utah. I did with him, and they did him dirty in Utah. They did him dirty.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, they did him dirty. They somebody on staff thought it'd be a good idea because Mikey had some off the court stuff, and they thought it would be a really good idea to have somebody dress as a state trooper and meet the plane. This is his signing announcement.
Who does that?
And they thought it would be a good idea to have somebody dress as a state trooper and try to arrest him when he got off the plane. This is when I'm surprised he didn't get off the plane. Just turn around and get off the plane. Steve Madison asked, he goes, once again, he said, what are you up to these days?
Raising my daughter, and she's a freshman, and have a wonderful business with some business partners I told you about. We're underneath Omni Behavioral Health.
Okay.
Yeah, we're private contractors, and we have about 5 or 6 group homes, and we have wonderful staff.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are these homes?
The group homes, 3 of them are in 4 of them are in Omaha. 4 of them are in Omaha towards the North Omaha area.
Okay.
And then we have one in Lincoln.
Really? Whereabouts?
South 42nd.
Okay.
Right straight down the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I had no idea. So how did you get connected with these folks?
Just, I've always worked with kids. When I was in California, I lived in Sacramento. I worked at a sex offenders group home for 2 years. I really got into the business then. Then I came back, worked at Omaha Home for Boys for 8 years. Then I was blessed enough to work for the YMCA as executive director. I ran the YMCA over in South Omaha. I worked with the Latino, Sudanese, Somalian, Burmese. I worked there for 8 years. Then I came back and started working for the Boys and Girls Club. And I was after school director, just caring about kids, and then got into the group home. And then a friend of mine told me, why aren't you doing this yourself? Called a great friend of mine named Ashley Trapp, and she's with Omni, and she blessed me. And then we just grew. And then I had some young fellas. My young fellas, Arthur Bose and Joe Ogba, these young dudes, and that's the blessing, to be humble and get educated by some younger cats that had their stuff together way before me, and to be able to want to learn and partner with them and let them guide, and then I implement what I learned and what I've experienced. And we have a great system. We have great kids. We just graduated 2 kids out of our program successfully. And these kids has been to like 42 different group homes. And, so that's the gift. And then, what the better gift is? You have staff that, you're training so they can do the same thing. My speech to them is always, my thing, how I live by is, I'm going to train my staff good enough to be able to leave, but I'm going to take care of them good enough so they won't leave. And that's just it. And that's how I treat them. And, so we're going to create this big umbrella where all my staff are going to have a group home, and we're going to get these kids right. We're going to continue to attack this community and make it right. Give these kids hope to stop doing what they're doing. Showing that someone does care, get involved more, try to do, what's right, so just because they're in the system doesn't mean life is over. And that's what we're doing. We're just trying to change it with structure, hold them accountable, teaching them a skill. So when it's time for them to get 19 and they get out of the system, is they can have a life. We give them something to go with. And I love what I do.
what's the likelihood? What are the? I mean, maybe you know the percentages or not, but how many of these kids go on and are successful?
You know, out of our group home,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the percentage, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't, but every kid that comes through us, we're still in contact with to this day. If they need our assistance, if we are reference, I was blessed enough to be able to pay a kid's phone bill who called me. Those things like that is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Just because you graduate our program doesn't mean you're
You're
out
done.
of no,
Yeah,
you're
you're not
done with
done.
us. No. And that's the thing about it,
We'll throw it back. When we come back, I'll ask, and we can let folks know how they can help.
Okay.
Right? Because for that kind of work,
yes,
all the additional support is required.
Yes, it is.
And so we'll have that discussion with former Husker Terrence Badgett after the break.
Mike Schaefer here with five-star child care provider Lee Beecher from Bubbles and Blocks. Let's start with what makes Bubbles and Blocks special.
We have 3 beautiful locations in Lincoln that provide the safety, security, and reliability you need while also bringing a family feel to each classroom at every location.
I also hear some congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Yes, we just won the Lincoln Choice Award for Best Daycare and Preschool for the 3rd year in a row.
What should people do if they want to join the Bubbles and Blocks family?
Call to set up a tour to enroll your child today, or you can visit bubblesandblocks.com to apply to join our team.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Your KFXL Fox, Nebraska weather tonight, mostly clear, overnight lows 70. Mostly sunny on Thursday, a warm day, highs in the upper 80s. I'm KFXL Chief Forecaster Kent Boughton for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths in sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Atrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
From Alfred Hitchfield, the master of suspense. They're growing. Today, there are 1,000. Tomorrow, there will be 2,000. Comes a tale of mystery and multiplication.
In a year, there'll be 365,000 and 3,650,000 in 10 years.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about here?
The dollars you get if you win Lucky for Life from the Nebraska Lottery. $1,000 a day for life.
What's with the scary music?
We do lots of movie trailers. Force of habit.
Top prize odds 1 in 30 million. You know that music. It's the theme for America's favorite spooky family. And we've got them. Play $5 The Addams Family Fortune, the new scratch ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. The top prize is $50,000, and you can choose from frighteningly fun tickets featuring Gomez, Morticia, Uncle Fester, and other classic characters. And see The Addams Family 2 in theaters October 11th. So lurch into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and pay a visit to The Addams Family. Top prize odds 1 in 96,000.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
I sure am, Charlie. Great to talk to you again.
Andy, I know you're selling a lot of cars right now, but I hear you still have a lot of cars available.
We do, Charlie. In fact, we still have over 500 new 2021 Hondas to choose from in stock or on the way, with 0% APR financing available on select models.
What about new 2022 Hondas, Andy?
You know, we actually have quite a few in stock already, and they're arriving every day.
Now, I'm going to assume since you're selling a lot of new cars, you have some great trade-ins available too. How is the selection of pre-owned?
It's the largest selection of pre-owned we've ever had, Charlie, with over 160 choose from. People can choose from just about any make and model you can imagine.
Thanks, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Baseball's back in Lincoln. Salt Dogs Baseball has returned, and we're celebrating their 20th season all summer long. In honor of the 20th season, the Salt Dogs are offering specials at every homestand May to September. Come on out for Nebraska Medical Association Thank You Tuesdays, Fairbury Brand Wiener Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, and Sunday Family Fun Days brought to you by Casey's. Get your tickets for the Salt Dogs celebration season at saltdogs.com.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights, featuring former Nebraska basketball player Terrence Batchett.
My boy Al Clark and Woolridge, we used to, the Kenyon, we used to, hey, this is our stuff.
Oh,
know about this.
Come on, everything from the day. Everything from the day. That's the whole point of all this. I'm an old dude, so I stay connected. I stay young through coaching.
Okay.
Right, and hanging out with young people, they let you know, but I still get a smile when I hear mine. When I hear mine, it was like, oh. And I said it to somebody a couple of weeks ago. And I said I got 5 on it. And they looked at me like they had no idea what I was talking about. And I just went, okay, well, my fault. I'll hand you this one, let you know. We're talking to former Husker Hooper, Terrence Badgett, and we're talking about where you are in your journey and what you do, your mission, your task, your purpose. How can people help? Is there a way for them to be a part of what you do? Help facilitate what you do, make it easier, make it better. What can we do?
There's just getting involved in structure and holding kids accountable, getting involved in we do a lot of community service stuff. We have people that give us clothes and things like that. We have people that come and talk to the kids, anything, The most thing about it, a lot of times people don't understand that a lot of these kids are in these situations because they didn't have love. They didn't feel needed. They didn't feel wanted. And I think sometimes we get into the midst where we give them too much, and that's a lot of times we as natural humans, we try to give them things that we didn't have, but there's a limit. You know what I'm saying? I know, hey, I have a daughter that's probably spoiled, but there's a different kind of spoiled. She knows she's held accountable. She knows that, I have to earn this, And the kids we deal with in the system are kids that just want structure, just want consistency, just want to know that you're going to be participating, hold them accountable, correct them, and just, and just talk to them like they're somebody.
Is there a way for folks that these young people need clothes?
Yeah, and with Omni behavioral health, there's always we make a way as far as donation. There's tons of group homes underneath Omni, not just myself. There's tons of people that's doing great services and great business, and so anybody you find with a group home, I'm guarantee you, if you say that, hey, I have some extra clothes or not, and if they don't use all of them, most of the time they'll fold them and save them, or they'll donate them to the Goodwills and everything too. I do all the time when my hand-me-downs, I give it to my little brothers. They call me big brother. Mm-hmm. I'm always I don't try to get rid of everything I do. I try to, hand it down, so you can donate it. You can contact any group home in Omaha and contact those things and give anything. I mean, from food to clothes to couches to beds, all that kind of stuff. People, you wouldn't imagine what people can use, what they need.
I'll say this, and I've got too much in my closet.
Yeah, okay.
Next week I'll have a bag for you.
I got you.
There's stuff there that we can do for, if somebody finds something in it that makes them smile.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call it a victory.
Yeah, we have kids that leave and graduate, and sometimes they go into other programs, and sometimes they don't. So being able to give them, if they was able to get an apartment, a couch, a table, some groceries, things that matter, hey, so be it.
Do folks, do they donate food? Do they make donations?
Oh, yeah.
Where you can buy food? Is there a way to like for them to sponsor a kid or maybe, a program or something?
Yeah. A lot of people hit me on Facebook and, they hit me in the inbox and say, hey, I have this, I have that. I was just blessed with a lady who she said, hey, my kid, he's size 13. He wears a 2X. Do you have a kid? Like, oh, so yeah. Can I bring it and drop it off? Communicated. She dropped it off immediately. And my kid had school clothes. So,
Yeah, I think we'll work on that.
Okay.
It's a big thing for me because you're right that all they want is love, and when you're in trouble and that's kind of what you're doing, you're looking for some source of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you tell them about your playing days? You ever talk about it with them?
I really don't. I really don't. It's my staff that always says something, or sometimes, or I get a kid. My fans gonna laugh about this. I had one time he was playing basketball and got a court, and the kid was like, "Man, you ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. Don't be coming up here." I said, "Man, my name is Terrence Badger. Google me." And he started laughing.
There it is, man. There it is.
That's why. So ever since then, I have. Well, a couple of my kids, I'm like, "You play basketball? No, you big. You gain like you didn't play no basketball. Okay, Google me." And then like, "Oh, man, you did. You play ball." I was like, yeah, I played ball. I was a good 100+ pounds lighter, but yeah.
Look, man, look. Hey, you and me both, bro.
But I'm here, and I'm working on it. So
but that's the good stuff, bro.
Amen.
That really is the good stuff. And again, your exposure and your access is important. Yeah. All right, so we'll throw it to break. Top of the hour, a couple of things. One, we need to talk to we bring Big Sky to the conversation.
Hey, Big Sky.
We got to bring him in and let the voice of God be heard, right? And then we'll take some more of the text line. Folks have talked about it, and then we'll go into today's news.
Okay, let's do it.
Lots to talk about with Terrence Badger. We'll be right back.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your KFXL Fox, Nebraska weather tonight, mostly clear, overnight lows 70. Mostly sunny on Thursday, a warm day, highs in the upper 80s. I'm KFXL Chief Forecaster Kent Boughton for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
You decide to buy new flooring you want it installed right away. Hi, Steve Carper from O Street Carpet. With our huge in-stock supply of carpet, tile, and vinyl, wood, and laminate flooring. You buy today and we'll install it right away. While other stores don't deliver that kind of service, we do. In fact, if you'd have purchased your flooring last week at O Street, you'd be enjoying it today.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street and ostreetcarpet.com.
From Alfred Hitchfield, the master of suspense. They're growing. Today, there are 1,000. And tomorrow, there will be 2,000. Comes a tale of mystery and multiplication.
In a year, there'll be 365,000 and 3,650,000 in 10 years.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about here?
The dollars you get if you win Lucky for Life from the Nebraska Lottery. $1,000 a day for life.
What's with this scary music?
We do lots of movie trailers. Force of habit.
Top prize odds 1 in 30 million. You know that music? It's the theme for America's favorite spooky family. And we've got them. Play $5 The Addams Family Fortune, the new scratch ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. The top prize is $50,000, and you can choose from frighteningly fun tickets featuring Gomez, Morticia, Uncle Fester, and other classic characters. And see The Addams Family 2 in theaters October 11th. So lurch into a Nebraska Lottery retailer and pay a visit to
The Addams Family.
Top prize odds 1 in 96,000.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from Copple Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Featuring former Nebraska basketball player Terrence Badgett. With broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson. Welcome to the Ticket Weeknights.
I love you, go mess with you.
Uncle Ricky. Sometimes you got to take them back. Man. Big Sky, that is Slick Rick.
Yes, it is.
Slick Rick.
Slick Rick.
Can't say I'm familiar.
We're here to help. Like I said, I had to dive into George Strait earlier. I'll share with you some Slick Rick.
We all had to dive into George Strait earlier.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was by myself, but I don't know the 60 number one hits of George Strait. I just don't.
Nick was by himself in that.
You know, well, the text line got all fired up. Like they were like, "Wait a minute, how do you not know George Strait?" I'm like,
"Wow,
not my lane." Like I'm firmly, I'll tell you the country I know. No, no, that was not it. And then it's that other. So it's that discussion. So you are from cowboy country, like actual cowboys.
Yeah, you could say so.
Right. And then there are farmers.
Right.
Culturally, they share some things, but they're not the same.
It's not mutually inclusive. You're not automatically both by being one.
Right.
And I think any true farmer would tell you that, and I think any true cowboy would tell you the exact same thing. There are some people who don't understand the distinction, and there are some people who blend the lines by being both. So it can be confusing, but no, you're not necessarily a cowboy if you're a farmer, and you're not necessarily a farmer if you're a cowboy.
You know a cowboy when you see one.
Absolutely.
What do they look like?
It's just right out of a Western movie, I'd say.
Right.
There's a one I'm not quite sure what the name is. It might be Cowboy. It might be like Little Cowboys or Cowboys, something like that, where John Wayne takes a group of
the Cowboys
kids,
yeah.
And they herd cattle across the prairie, and that's my idea of a cowboy. A farmer is somebody who stays in one spot and grows crops.
Okay. What about my favorite series right now is Yellowstone.
Okay. Yeah.
And those real cowboys?
I haven't seen a ton of Yellowstone. But from what I can tell, there are definitely real cowboys portrayed in the show, but I don't think the main characters are cowboys.
I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, I guarantee that.
Yeah, I tried to explain, and I'm from Virginia.
Okay.
So if I drive 2 hours south, it's all farms.
Mm-hmm.
If I drive 30 minutes north, I got the capital and it's on.
Okay.
And I can keep going north into Maryland, and there are more farms.
Okay.
So Maryland, D.C., Virginia are all below the Mason-Dixon line, which was the considered line for South and North. But then I always thought that cowboys were Southern and farmers were Midwestern. And then I grew up, and it was like, oh, I was wrong.
That's good.
You can be a cowboy anywhere. You can be a cowboy in New York City as long as you're doing it correctly.
Well, they have farming villages. They have like towns in New York, in like New York City, where the brothers are riding horses.
Yeah.
Like in New York City, black cowboys is a thing. There's certain places around the country where that's still a thing. A lot of the original cowboys were black, but I had to relearn from a historical standpoint, a geographical standpoint, and then a cultural standpoint that it could be. It's like a goulash of there's some this, there's some that, and it depends on where you're from. questions from you, Big Sky. What's on your mind?
So Mikey Moore was not a name I was familiar with when it was brought up last hour. So I went and did a quick Google search / Wikipedia search and found that he was quite the hacky sack player.
That's a lot of human being to be playing hacky sack.
Right.
A lot of shoe.
I say that to Badge, and he goes off and tells me all these crazy things. So, what were some of the things that you're comfortable saying on air that your team did? Like, what were their personal hobbies? What were their characteristics? What were the traits? What were you like off the court back then?
Man, we were a fun group. That's what made us. We did stuff all together. Funny thing about it, when you touch base on Mikey, I was on a roll. Mikey and Vincent Hamilton was. I had the room with either one of them because they never was on time. They always was late. They always had something going on. So Danny Nee made it a point to punish me and make me get them to do everything, to be on time and everything too. And they're great athletes. But Mikey, hacky sack. Mikey loves reptiles. Mikey is a big kid. Mikey is a big kid.
Where is he now?
I want to say South Carolina.
Okay.
That's where he's from. Mikey bought a Cadillac, took the spare tire out of the bottom and put speakers in it. He didn't care about getting the flat. He just he loved his music. Mikey Moore is all East Coast. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. He's Wu-Tang. He's all East Coast.
It was because I met him before, like pre-dreadlock Mikey Moore.
Yeah.
Right, when that dude. And then it was, Mikey got money.
Yeah.
Like when Mikey got the big contract, I was like, oh, but he stayed in the league. He did a really good job of staying in the league.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a better player at the end of his career than he was at the beginning. Like I thought even as he got older, Mikey did things better on the floor than he ever did when he was at Nebraska.
Can I tell you that Mikey was cut in the NBA probably about 3 or 4 times. You know why he was cut? Punctuality. It wasn't his play. It was just Mikey could not be on time. Mike cannot. Remember I told you a story about Mikey that we talked on off there, me and Sky. And I said, Mikey had a tattoo. He came to practice with a tattoo of a girl on his shoulder. He had just started dating. Then they broke up. So he covered the tattoo with a black heart. So we started calling him Black Heart. It was freaking hilarious. But that's just Mikey.
And Mikey that was the turning point where basketball players started to get tattoos.
Yeah.
Like that was when because before that, no, you were not doing that was kind of the point. And I was always curious about it because Nebraska at that time players were doing it. Like football players didn't have a lot of tattoos.
Right.
Like Tom Osborne would be like, no.
Yeah. Danny Nee wasn't so much about, he didn't care about it. And he just showed up and played. So, but back then when I was playing, there weren't a lot of guys who had tattoos that are on our team, but once Mikey got older, he started getting, I think towards the senior year, he started getting the tattoos in a plethora.
Yeah. They were all up. Like, it was like, go ahead and get it in. That team, I mean, Strick's talent has been talked about. Like Strick's ability, like his athletic ability, just pure athletic ability. And then he had a dog's heart. Like that was like, okay.
Yeah.
But Vincent Hamilton is the guy that when I hear old Nebraska heads talk basketball, they're saying that there may not have been anybody more gifted than Vincent Hamilton.
No, not at all. Not at all. Vincent was great. Vincent was a smaller Mikey Moore. Vincent had more moves, more combination, just witty. Just raw talent, where Vincent went to school, Oak Hill. Vincent was Oak Hill
from
kid.
The academy, baby.
Yeah, he was academy, and then he's played in Spain for like 9 years. You play in Spain, you got to be doing something
and keeping regular money.
But to touch base on what Sky was talking about, like Sky, you had Krista Lee. He was a soccer player. He never played basketball. He was a soccer player. So on his prayer time, he loved soccer. Tom Wald. We all played pool. You had everybody. Strickland was a pilot. Strickland actually flew one of our planes with one of the pilots when we went on a road trip. So you had.
He's never told us that story.
Oh yeah, Strickland. He had his pilot license. We didn't trust him. Don't get it right. Hey. We was the people sitting in the aisle. We go like this. We kept on going like this. Man, Strickland fell asleep. And you know what's funny? He did fall asleep, but we went off on him. But it's automatic pilot. And the guy knew, man, what you doing, man? Don't go back up again.
He fell asleep flying the team.
He fell asleep.
Come on, man.
He did, man.
He about to hear this. He is about to hear this.
Yep.
Well, would you trust me as your pilot badge?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I do have my pilot's license. So
what can you fly? What can you fly?
Not a team jet, that's for sure.
Well,
a little single engine. And then I had another question, a follow-up question. Cast of characters of that team. You guys seem to have formed a super solid, I guess, connection. You were a great team. With the NIL stuff that's coming out, much was made of its impact on the idea of team, the notion of team. I heard that a lot when I was working on Early Break with Sip and Jake. They were very concerned about how it's going to work team building wise. As a guy who is a member of a super great team, do you think NIL will have a major impact on those connections?
I think so. I think it's just depending on who the leadership is, and then how it's presented, and what you can do too. I think it will. Am I happy about the NIL? I'm happy. I mean,
okay, so I'll go on that.
Yeah.
What would NIL have done for you guys? How much extra money would you guys have made winning Big 8 titles and winning NIT championships if businesses could have thrown cash your way openly?
You're going to be crazy about this answer. I wouldn't have wanted it because it would have changed you. It would have took away your passion. It would have took away your focus, your desire, because you start focusing on the money aspect and your hard work. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have those things, you work harder to get those things. When it's handed to you, do you respect it? Do you appreciate it? Do I believe that student athletes should be paid? Of course. In my era, no. It's just like the cell phones. I'm glad we didn't have no social media.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm glad we had no social media.
Oh my goodness gracious!
The distractions it would have caused, none of us. we would be nowhere.
I can say this openly. My entire team would have been suspended like 38 times.
Oh man!
Like I'm so glad we didn't have cell phones,
man. And it's and I'm so glad too. I mean, I didn't even have a team line when we was.
I can't even imagine us having Tinder and Facebook and Twitter back in the day.
Okay. No.
Like my mother would have came and got me.
Man. Easily. I would have been talked about. So
well, I mean, look, we dated in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think it would have changed our whole mindset. I mean, I think it would have changed everything. So would it have been beneficial? Yes. By far, it would have been beneficial, but I think it would have hurt us. It would have hurt our desires. It would have hurt us accomplishing or being forced to focus and get to the next level. I think
but would there have been any jealousy?
Oh, by far, yes. And that's one of the things it's going to create. So you're going to have, and it's so crazy. I see these teams, these college teams, and they post it on TV or on the YouTubes or whatever, and the players dancing in the locker room and doing all that. Me as a coach, man, what y'all doing? I remember
before the game, no, you don't dance.
I remember the year we won state, Dr. Martini, athletic director, we beat Miller South. Miller South was the talk of town. We beat them. We celebrating. He come on, get off the court. You ain't done nothing. You won one game. Man, get off the court. But we didn't know when he was. So, but at the same time too, it's a distraction. It was a distraction. Your team doing I don't know what they do now. The jiggy with it, I don't know what.
Well, think about it this way. So Tony Farmer, like Tony came, like we know how Tony rolls. Like people, Tony has on Cadillac. Tony had it before it was it. Was there anybody envious and didn't want to play with or next to Tony Farmer because of what he had?
No, because Tony Farmer work ethic was ridiculous. Tony worked. Tony was one of those kids where when he went to the NBA, he was destined for that lifestyle. He knew how to balance the two. And he wasn't cocky, overbearing. he didn't, he flaunted that he had some things, but he wasn't like boisterous about it. He just, it's just who he was. Some people have that, what I'm saying? It's just who they are, but they know how to handle it. They know how to respect it. Tony was one of those people.
I mean, and to go with that, I mean, Ty Lue, did anybody really project Ty to be Ty? Like, did you back then, college Ty? Did you go, oh, that's who Ty's going to be when he's done?
When Tyronn Lue walked on campus, and us being seniors, and we started playing pickup, and he got up off of a missed shot and tip dunked it, and we was like, whoa! And then he was so low to the ground and so fast. He had something. No, did I project him? I knew that he would get to the NBA. I really did, because it was a story with Jacques Vaughn. Him and Jacques Vaughn got into it at middle court, and he said, Jacques Vaughn, if you beat me, you supposed to, but if I beat you, my name is in lights. And he whooped Jacques Vaughn in the Allen Fieldhouse. We lost that game, but he showed clips. Mikey Moore showed clips. Vincent Hamilton showed clips. All those people that showed clips of greatness. Our old team actually really did, but those two that was in the NBA that got to the NBA, But look at him now.
But all of it, like, was he a coach then? Like, who was he? Did he have those things, right?
Remember I told you who motivated us to get in IT? Yeah. He jumped up and said, come on, y'all, I want to do it for y'all. Come on, let's do this, man. I love y'all. He was passionate. He was a little emotional, but he just like, man, let's do this.
The text line asks the question, who's the best player you play with at Nebraska?
On the same team or against?
Same team.
Same team.
Player you played with?
That's a tough one. That's a
tough
one.
No, I'm waiting for this one.
Yeah, they're all equal. I mean, I don't know. I mean, guarding, I'll probably have to say my little brother Strickland and Woolridge. Giraffe is in there. Carl Hayes.
Who was the most talented?
Strick was all around. Strick just had a gift. He had a knack. Strick played both sides of the ball. Strick was a wild card. Strick was he did some of the things that you wouldn't imagine. Strick came to practice. I hope he's listening too. Strick, me and him was roommates. We had scrimmage every Saturday morning. Scrimmage started at 8:00. Strick walked in the door at 9:15. He was like, we all were like, oh man, they ain't about to get him. Nope, they ain't threw him in the scrimmage. MVP scrimmage. Played his butt off. Excellent. I mean, he probably was up all night knowing Strick. Coach D walks in there with that 40-pound weight vest and told him, you got 2 laps around the whole Devaney Center. Strickland came back in and was crying. My legs hurt. I said, man, what possessed you to walk into practice at 9:15? You could have just said I was sick or something. I just woke up like, yeah, it's clear. But the performance he put on in that scrimmage, I mean, Jerron and Strickland and whoever played of that year, man, he put on a performance, man.
I'm not sure he could even do that now. I don't think a coach can put you in a 40-pound vest and make you run.
Yeah, you can. They just don't talk about it. he went outside in the sun. He was inside the Devaney Center, inside that little bubble. Oh man, hey, we had some drills that, man, Danny was no joke.
What was Danny doing? Come on, give them to me.
Danny we said this drill called 11-1. 1-11-1. So what you do, you run up one time, it's 5 seconds. The next time you go 3. So you go 1, 2, 3, 15 seconds. 5, 25, 7, 35. It goes up. If you do not touch the line, Strickland did it again. So when you go all the way up to 11, and then you come back down it, that was the conditioning. You come back down. You do not touch the line or cross the line. You start all the way over. We was coming down the ladder. We was on number 5. And Strickland, the buzzer beat, and Strickland didn't cross it. We had to start all the way over. We wanted to fight this dude. We was already in practice for like 3 hours. And yeah, let's needless to say, we was fit.
Well, but your style of play kind of led that you had to be.
Yeah, and the thing about it too, in our era, we didn't have to do conditioning because we just wanted to play. We wanted to play. You know, I mean, we play AAU teams. Our coach never did no conditioning. We just played
Right.
because we was fit enough. I remember we played against Fred Hoiberg, Nebraska All-Stars versus Iowa State.
Mhm.
We wanted them. We were small. They were huge. Meek Leak, all them other
Mm.
Fred Hoiberg.
Mm.
And we tried to get them. And Curtis Marshall ended up with 39. They had 37. They had different rules. In Iowa, you couldn't throw an alley over the rim. You had to throw it underneath the rim and catch it and dunk it. It was so, but we were fit. We just played. Now, just think if we had the opportunities they have now of all these tournaments, of all these YouTubes and all this stuff. I really think that Nebraska alone. I mean, I have some big brothers in Minnesota, and I have Brett Coffey, Mark Ross, and Sean Cotton, and you got Yoda, and all these older people, Mike McGee.
Mhm.
We got these Dave Hoppin, all these people that was before us. The Leonard Wilsons and all that. Omaha alone, quietly, could have had about 30 to 40 people Division I easily. There was just talent there, but it was just Omaha. No one knew about Omaha.
So, I mean, does Danny Nee indirectly change all that? Like just by saying, you know what, it's not good enough, and then whoops, I need to get my hands in the soup.
Yeah, he put his hands in the soup. Remember who he got afterwards? He got Alvin Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Alvin Mitchell came, and then a couple other kids came from Nebraska as well. He started getting them. He got the Andy Markowskis, he got the Chad Diaz.
But so you're still connected to the game. Like you're around people that play the game.
Oh, all the time. I love the game.
Right? So in the conversations of like finger pointing and directing people to Lincoln, like all the sons of the dudes who could ball back in the day.
Yeah.
They're all that age now.
Yeah.
What's it gonna take?
Yeah. I mean, even one good friend of mine, Travis Salas, his son is going to Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good friend. We talk all the time and stuff, and I think it's a good choice. I mean, would it be a better choice coming to Nebraska? Heck yeah. It would have been. But we just have to continue to, like the 4-star recruits.
What does he say to you about Hunter making that move to go to Gonzaga? There's some that I'm always intrigued by somebody from the spot saying, I need to go somewhere else. I understand it, but I'm always intrigued. What are you getting away from?
Well, I remember this is when his son was a junior. And he said, what do you think about Nebraska? I said, of course I think about it. But I said, right now I think that he's going to be on a bigger scope. I think he's going to be, those big schools, you can't overlook that. I think of course it'd be a good fit. But he left it up to his son.
Would Hunter Salas fit in with the 4 and 5s that they have?
Oh yeah.
Right? I think this is going to be an interesting time because if Hoiberg does what it appears that he can do, that the conversations about local talent changes.
Yes.
Like you're no longer going to have to go somewhere to get the national pull that Hoiberg can get you. And on top of that, Delano Banton getting drafted and getting his 2-year deal should open the door to a whole lot of kids.
Yeah. And it really should too. I mean, and right now there's a good group of kids from anywhere from like the 7th grade on up. West Side has a great group of kids. Bellevue continues to have a great group of kids. Lincoln has a great group of kids. Creighton Prep has a great group of kids. So there's a new era coming in.
Okay,
a new hunger that we have hope for, and it's going to develop some great kids. I really do, and they're going to do great things.
Well, I think the conversation of former Huskers, and there's like football and basketball specifically, they cross streams a lot.
Yeah,
like the dudes who played here back in the day, and in the next segment we're going to talk about what you and Jay Foreman were talking about back in the day. But to me, it seems like you guys can change the entire culture just by having conversations to the next generation.
Yeah, and we do. Alvin Mitchell has a team, T&E, he has great talent. He has great talent. He always has us come in and talk and motivate the kids and things like that too. And it's just getting in their ear. It's getting in their ear, pushing them, letting them know he travels with them, experiencing different talent. One best thing you could do for a kid is when he goes out and plays in a different state or whatever, and he recognizes that he is that good too.
Mm-hmm.
He can be that great. That is a great motivator. And that's the thing about it. Nebraska basketball, they building gyms everywhere now. There's so many people, Gretna, Elkhorn, Millard, they're doing great things. They're doing great. North Omaha, they're doing great things because you know why? All these fathers are getting involved too. All these people are participating.
And those are all those are your friends. Like, no, Omaha's not so big that people can avoid each other.
Right.
Like, there's talent. If
sadly,
well,
not in a bad way.
No, I just to me, it just seems like if the old heads of Omaha decide that they're going to get together and build a superpower in Lincoln or Omaha or wherever, that's going to happen.
The old heads build us, our era.
I'll say it again. You guys can flip the script and turn this thing on in full blast,
and I hope we do.
There's no through all the conversations with just those names of Lou, Pike, Chubik, Farmer, Boone, Strick, guys that know Badgett, that all know the next generation of athletes.
And Bruce is doing great. Bruce and his dad are doing awesome. That's my alma mater, South High.
I just want to see what happens when that collection of smart players, intellectual minds, and influencers get together and simply decree that Nebraska is never going to have to search for another top-level basketball talent again. The moment that happens, it's a wrap.
There it is.
It's a wrap. We'll throw the break. We'll come back. We'll talk about you and Jay Foreman were talking about you going to football games and football players coming to basketball games.
Oh, man.
We going to talk about that after the break. We'll be right back.
Let's do it.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Baseball's back, and it's time to celebrate, Lincoln. We're inviting fans back to Haymarket Park to join in the fun for the Salt Dogs' 20th season. Pick out single-game tickets and plot your own Salt Dog schedule around promos and deals. Come to Haymarket Park for Nebraska Medical Association Thank You Tuesdays, Fairbury brand Wiener Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, and Sunday Family Fun Days brought to you by Casey's. Get your tickets for the Salt Dogs celebration season at saltdogs.com.
93.7 Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather tonight, mostly clear, overnight lows 70. Mostly sunny on Thursday, a warm day, highs in the upper 80s. I'm KFXL Chief Forecaster Kent Boughton for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, Then I drove that money-saving mile to Coppell in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Do you know the signs of an opioid overdose? Talk to your physician and pharmacist about naloxone, a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Be Opie ready and download a free overdose support tool, the Opie Rescue app. Search Opie Ready for more information.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights, featuring former Nebraska basketball player Terrence Badgett on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, I had to wait. I had to let that marinate just a little bit before we get into it. Yeah, we were talking about it on break, and the Delano Banton thing is hilarious to me because there were people here. Let me say this, and try to be slightly polite about it. Nothing tells me that you don't know basketball like you dogging Delano Banton a year ago. Like anybody that dogged Delano Banton a year ago, I said, you and I had the conversation. And I said, does he make the league? And you said yes. Like you didn't even think about it. And I said, here's why you're right. That Fred Hoiberg teaches you in his system. He teaches you basketball IQ. He gives you basketball IQ.
Yes.
He gives you an answer for a situation. He says simply, here are the rules of the game. If space is offense, offense is space. We work from that. If we attack the middle and then defend the middle, we are at an advantage. And then you add a 6'9" dude who can rebound as well. And they said, well, he can't shoot. He doesn't have to. Delano Banton wasn't going to be drafted by anybody to go and shoot 6 threes a game.
Right.
That's not what they needed.
Correct.
And it was there. I just think when you talk about, so you guys had a bunch of street ballers.
Yeah.
And people will look at that and say, that's not going to translate. No, the street ball translates because then you're going to get rules when you get to the next level.
Right. Right.
The guy who plays with rules can't always do the thing athletically that you could do.
That's true. That's true.
You could do what he did and then something else.
You know, when I redshirted, we talked about that. I didn't have fundamentals. We was just so good. It would just give us the ball and run. But when I came to Nebraska, you know, I'm being honest with you. He said, do a reverse pivot. What are you talking about? I do triple threat, I do all this stuff, but when I incorporated
and when to use it,
when I incorporated the fundamentals, I was so much more of a threat than I was with the street ball.
I asked the question to Tony Farmer, and it was simple. I said, let me know what day it was at practice that Danny Nee told you spin, pivot, drop, stab, dunk over a 6'9" forward. What day of practice that was? He goes, there wasn't. I said, exactly.
Right.
Danny Nee couldn't ever teach you what God gave you.
There you go.
And it was the merging of talent and IQ.
Yeah.
And what Fred Hoiberg did, Donald Bennett sat out a year. That level of emotional maturity is why he is under contract with the Toronto Raptors.
And here's the thing, too, though. So to say this, to say that, you see what's happening. You see Juwan Howard now in Michigan. If you have a dream, Sky, if you have a dream to go to say, Scott, you want to be a pilot, and you knew somebody over here that was a pilot, but you knew somebody over here that was a teacher that could teach you pilot. Who would you want to go to? The pilot or the teacher? The pilot. So you got Juwan Howard. Juwan, I want to come to your school. Can you teach me how to get to the NBA? Yeah. I'll teach you what you need to do to get to the NBA.
Plus, Juwan taught him how to get that bank right.
Yeah. Fred Hoiberg played the NBA. Can you teach me how to get to the NBA? You see all these, the NBA players who become college coaches are going to track. Penny Hardaway. Come on now. Come on. Penny.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
well,
come on.
But people don't say it out loud. A Nebraska Husker won world championships. They won NBA finals.
Yeah.
That's a Nebraska dude.
Yeah.
And I still need to know. And when we have him on the show, got to ask question one before we ask anything else. When you coming back? When you coming back to Nebraska? When you coming back in the state? When you putting your foot? Just let me know when you're going to land.
Yeah.
And let me know who you coaching that day.
Yeah.
I don't care if you scout. I don't care if you want to put on shoes and run them down the floor.
Yeah.
When are you coming back? A NBA Finals champion coach.
Yeah.
Came from here.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are all still connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for me, whatever Nebraska aspires to on a basketball standpoint, from a basketball standpoint, they can have.
Yes.
They can have. And I don't know if there's a 6'6" kid in Omaha.
Oh, they're there.
Right? And he wants to know what he should do going forward. There's some 6'6" dudes we know that can have that conversation with him.
Yeah. There's coaches. There's coaches in Omaha right now who will be a great assistant coach in Nebraska. You got Kenyon Crandall, who's my good
Do
friend.
you talk to those coaches?
I haven't got into with Fred too much. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure there will be.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, even selling not just players, but people that that can help your university.
How about that? Check writers.
Yeah. And check writers, it could be
sponsors.
Man, yeah. It could be in any aspect of it. For volleyball,
yep.
You got people that people in volleyball, ran track. We have some great athletic track girls and boys in Omaha.
Oh yeah, Abdul Muhammad up there doing his thing.
Oh, Abdul is one of my guys. Abdul does his great. He works with kids. He has a great knack. But where'd he come from? Compton. So he can read kids really good.
Man, look, I think it's fantastic. Like I said, the moment the former Huskers, former great Huskers, and I don't care what sport it was, I don't care what program you were in, I don't care what level of professional success you had. The moment the Husker alumni get together and decide how they want this thing to go, that's how it's going to go.
I need an invite to the table. I'm ready.
Well, we're going to give you a microphone and let you. We'll do that. You and Jay Foreman were talking about it on the bridge, right? We were crossing over, and you were talking about going to Husker football games. He was talking about going to Husker basketball games. Why don't you tell me in your own words what y'all were doing back in the day? Like, you guys could go. They would come to your games and sit in the front row.
Yeah, yep. That's when we had we had a student section, and we quietly call it the athletic section.
Okay.
Because it was right as we entered the floor to go play on our left-hand side, and it was the livest section.
Yeah.
It was the livest section. I mean, Trev Alberts was in the section. You had all the football players in the section, but they made it live. They were so motivating. They were so positive, man, And then we go to the football games. Of course, we're farther away from them. We can't talk to them. Yeah. They could talk to us at the basketball game. And the sequence was a beast. Man, Foreman come up and talk, hey, Badge, man, that was a nice rebound. Man, and it's so crazy. You know why? Football players can play basketball too. That's what they were cold. I'll tell you what. You had some players that I was like, he can't play he's not supposed to be able to play basketball. And these cats can play basketball just as well. You know what I'm saying? So we just had our freshman group, we just had a bond, and we were supporting every sport. There was girls on a girls basketball team we supported, and we just had a nucleus, man. Nebraska sports back then, There was nobody that was big. Everybody knew football was the main.
That's a unique time.
Everybody knew football was the football was the thing. Then you got volleyball was the thing. And then you had basketball. Probably took about between basketball and baseball.
But all 4 programs were really good.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not sure this town could handle if all 4 programs were good at the same time.
I mean,
not now with social media. Big Sky, I'll ask you, student body. This is what I can't even imagine your Friday and Saturday night if here in Lincoln with your buddies, if football, both basketball programs, volleyball, baseball, softball were all good at the same time.
I think academics would go down at the university. Spend less time studying, going to games. Got beautiful facilities, so there would be no excuse at that point.
Right? Is that what's happening? I mean, you and I have kind of talked about it before, but is that what would kind of make the student body engage at the highest level? Is that really the thing, winning?
I think that's going to be the easiest answer all the time is build it and they will come, take it from the field of dreams. If you're successful, your fans are going to come, you're going to get that engagement that you want out of the fan base. That is absolutely going to energize the people of Lincoln and the student body.
I'm with Sky.
Yeah, what would Lincoln look like? What would the Haymarket look like if they won a Big Ten basketball title?
It wouldn't be COVID okay, I'll tell you that.
Like, I just think I don't think any of this is far away enough to go. It'll never, like, I've had people say, well, they'll never be good in football again. Like, they'll never be good in football. Why? Like, nobody's ever given me a reason why. Oh, they could never win the Big Ten basketball title. Why? It's basketball. It's the game. The game's the game.
Yeah.
Football, I mean, there's simplicity in this. Like, the beauty of football is that the markers are the same. No matter where you play, the markers are the same number of people are on the field, and the officials have the same rules. Same for basketball. There's 5 of them, 5 of you. You got limited space. You can go up 4. You got limits. They got rules. I don't understand how people will fully accept that Nebraska can't be dominant in any sport. Wait a minute, have you been to Tuscaloosa to tell me that the Tuscaloosa could get it right?
Right.
Have you been to Clemson? Great Caesar's Ghost. South Carolina, you try to figure out, like, 10 years ago, would they get it right? They were a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why people will fully just accept that Nebraska should be basic at anything. You've got all the resources. You've got a fan base that literally will give you the shirt off their back if you're successful, and for you to be successful.
And you know what, though? Nebraska's not going to accept it. They want it. And they're going to keep on chipping at it until they get it. Like I said, they implemented Trev Alberts into it. So they implemented people that's going to build and make this university back. It's just, it's effort. It's like you said, it's a team effort. Until you decide, it's a team effort.
You have a Rolodex of people who are Nebraska greats and successful grown-ups.
Yeah.
A big part of this is my listening to you folks talk about what it was and what you wanted to be. Because that's the direction this will go. And it won't go there until you guys figure it out.
I agree.
I mean, that's just me. I'm an outsider looking in. I can say this as freely as I can tell you. In the places that I've been, it was the greats of the university who paid attention to the student body.
Yeah.
You remember what it was like to be a student here?
It was exciting.
You remember what it was like to walk out of Devaney and go to the Haymarket and go, yeah.
We didn't have a Haymarket, really.
Well, y'all still did O Street.
We had P.O. Parents and all those things, but it was electric. It was,
y'all fed off each other.
Oh yeah. I didn't throw in the gymnastics. I didn't throw in the wrestling, who was phenomenal back then too. The soccer, phenomenal. You had all those sports hitting on a high level.
I'm going to do this. We'll throw the break here. I want it's two things. One, Big Sky will close us out, but I want to ask you first.
Yeah.
You know Trev Alberts. I kind of want to get your perspective on the big guy. We'll do that when we close out the show next.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Happy birthday to the Ticket. Happy birthday to the Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket is turning 10 years old this week, and we're getting the gang back together to celebrate. Join us down at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket this Friday for a live broadcast beginning with Tom and Bach at 11 a.m. Register to win great raffle prizes, including Nebraska football season tickets or a signed Tommy Frazier jersey. Stick around until 4 for appearances from former hosts, including Mike Welch, John Gaskins, Jake Bogus, and Lanny Holstein. It's the Ticket's 10th anniversary party this Friday at McKinney's Irish Pub. In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather tonight, mostly clear, overnight lows 70. Mostly sunny on Thursday, a warm day, highs in the upper 80s. I'm KFXL Chief Forecaster Kent Boughton for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights, featuring former Nebraska basketball player Terrence Batchett on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Again, we thank you folks who have participated, who've been on the Sartor Heyman video stream, you folks who have texted in on the Sartor Heyman text line, to know that you're out on Facebook, YouTube, on Twitch, paying attention, adding to the conversation, and spending time with us at night in Lincoln, Nebraska. And just from the idea of it all, we like the fact that as sports doesn't end at 6 o'clock, we don't necessarily have to, and we can keep bringing you conversation and information. Big Sky, bruh, you've been sitting here paying attention. What do you make of all this? Like, can Nebraska get it right through these guys?
Well, I think a big thing that Terrence touched on in this last hour was the nucleus and just friendship and team that the entire athletic department had. Not just the basketball team and then the football team separate from that, but everybody supported everybody. And so I want to know, piggyback off the text line question that came in, where did that nucleus of just overall collective progress and goal seeking from the entire athletic department, where did that come from? And do you think that came first, or do you think the success came first? Do you think the success built it, or did it build the success?
That's an awesome question. I think that what the leader of that was, and just because of the type of person it was, Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne infatuated everyone. Tom Osborne participated in everything. You'll see Tom Osborne at a volleyball game. You see Tom Osborne just he was the grand poobah to set the tone for other coaches to follow. Well, you know what? Hey, we're off season. Let me go over here and support soccer. Let me go over here and support. And he developed the culture. It was, in order for us to be successful, it was about unity. It was about us supporting. Like I said, when he acknowledged me, he made me want to go to football games even more. Even though I had teammates, but him, just what he presented and how he carried and how he motivated so many other coaches. Because at the same time, he was the ambassador of all the coaches. Every coach in there, Tom had a relationship with. So you want to do the best. You want to be in Tom's graces. Tom Osborne was just a man. He was just, Bob Devaney was too. Bob Devaney participated in so much stuff too. So you had great leaders that made it. And there's great leaders now, but they just got to include other people. You got to bring them along. You got to go support. You got to pop up at these games, at this venue. Wow, what I just saw at a golf tournament. I saw, Fred Hoiberg. They'll talk about a little bit Bo Pelini. I was refereeing. Bo Pelini was at a game, at a kid's game. It wasn't even his kids. He was laying on the floor. I'm like, Bo, you got to move. He's like, Terrence, tell me to move again. But I like Bo. You know what I'm saying? But it's the past. But he tried to participate in things like that. You have to be embedded. You have to be embedded in just bleed red, like Nebraska football, Nebraska basketball, Nebraska gymnasts, Nebraska swimming. You have to be in it, not just one sport at all.
I think a couple of things, and as we pass, and the nucleus question was also on the text line, and that's good. I want to ask, I want to answer a question here. Harold asked a question. He says, "Love the show, love the interviews with Terrence. What happened to Nicole? Nicole Griffin will be back Monday nights, and every Monday night, Nicole Griffin will be here from 6 to 8. Tuesday nights, Eric Strickland. Wednesday night, we're going to move Badger to Thursday night. I think we're going to have we've got different folks lined up for different nights.
Wonderful.
Buzzy Carruthers will have a night, and if we get it right and we do this right, and the support is there, like you folks are here on the text line, you folks are here on the stream. If you guys are going to do that, then we can extend. Because we've got enough talent. Lance Harvell, we can't have him every week, but we could, there are nights he's open at 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Jalen Reyes from volleyball. You know what? Just if they don't have a game, there are a lot of Wednesday nights where he's free.
Awesome.
And he can come in and do it. We've Abdul Muhammad. We got to do it. Like I'm telling you, you got to come on down from you got to come on from Omaha.
Bruce Chubbuck.
Like Chubb. Come on,
Chubb.
man.
Chubb
like
wants to too. I know
look,
Chubb.
these stories. There's enough stories about great Huskers and great human beings that we don't have to shut it down just to shut it down.
Yeah.
We know that in a couple of weeks, 937 Ticket, we will start carrying Thursday night high school football games. We'll have Friday night high school football games. We'll run that stuff. We'll have pre- and post-game shows for the Huskers football and basketball. We'll get that stuff done. We'll be able to extend the schedule, and there's Sunday mornings where we can do some additional stuff. But with your support and with your presence, I mean, added talent, like guys like having Badge come in and do this stuff. And then on top of that, and the big part of for this, if the community supports it, Big Sky is locked and loaded.
That's my guy.
Big Sky is locked and loaded. And I'm telling you, if he gets a 2-hour show at night, him and the students, it's a problem.
Big Sky would love that. Big Sky need that. So
Big Sky, is that something that would work for you?
Absolutely. I don't have any qualms with that for sure.
Yeah, I think that, like, just to me, for Husker sports fans who love it, they live it, they bleed it.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to end at 6 o'clock. The news doesn't stop. The games don't stop. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Again, you folks on the text line, greatly appreciate you hanging out with us, contributing. Badge, give them a quick rundown. Who are some of the guys we're going to talk to here in the next couple of weeks?
Oh man, like I said, Bruce Chubbuck. I have a guy, Mike Vick, not Mike Vick, but Vic Beatum, Woolridge. My older brother, maybe.
Yeah.
Al Clark. You got some people in the community that I would love to talk to.
Okay.
So we, I want this to be not about just basketball. I want it to be about events. There's a couple people in the community I want to reach out to and get them to talk to. Mike McGee, things of that matter.
Well, we got a lot to look forward to.
Yes,
well done, brother.
Thank you.
Big Sky, thank you, kind sir. We're out. I will talk to you guys.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather tonight. Mostly clear. Overnight lows 70. Mostly sunny on Thursday. A warm